Hi everybody, I'm Scott Heath. I'm the CVs leader at Evans Halshaw Ford Transit Centre in Lincoln. I'm joined by Lloyd Stubbs, business owner of Tax Assistant Accountants. Lloyd, thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's really good to be here.
Yeah, good, good. I'm just going to read a statement just before we start. So what we're talking about today is the benefits a company has regarding the purchase of electric vehicles and clarity over the changes for double cab pickups from the government coming in effect in April. However, you should ask advice from either Lloyd or speak to someone to get your own advice regarding this. So, Lloyd, please introduce yourself. You just mentioned that you are now the proud owner in Lincoln, but you also owned a couple of places before.
That's right. So I'm the owner of Tax Assist Accountants in Lincoln. I've been the owner of Tax Assist Accountants in Grantham and Newark for 16 years. So this is a new venture.
New venture.
Yeah. So expanding, but it's a really good fit.
Yeah.
The three areas work really well together.
Yeah.
And
with them being so close together, you're still having the same type of people that you're going to be interacting with as well.
Absolutely, and all the teams know each other anyway.
Yeah.
So everyone's really looking forward to it, and yeah, it's only a couple of days in, but it's going well.
Good. Yeah, and just had it at the weekend, didn't you?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah.
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 Good. Good. So, talk to me what tax assistant accountant does on a day-to-day basis for people.
Yeah, so we provide tax and accountancy services to small and medium-sized businesses as well as individuals.
Okay.
So if people need tax returns completing, we can do that. If companies need accounts, corporation tax returns, then we can provide that service. And basically any service that you'd need from a firm of accountants, whether it be that VAT, payroll, bookkeeping, tax advice, tax planning, we do everything.
Everything, yeah.
Everything.
Sounds all great.
Yes.
Sounds like that's probably why you need 3 stores now then, because you're obviously that busy.
Absolutely, we are busy, yeah. I think we actually feel a gap in the market because you've got the larger firms and again, you've got people who are perhaps working from their own home.
Yeah.
We sit in the middle. What we want to do is offer the professional service people think that they're going to get from a larger firm, but still with the personal service of a smaller business.
Yeah.
So we've got quite a different approach in that we work from a shop front. So people are welcome to pop in, have a chat.
Cup of tea, coffee.
Cup of tea and coffee, yeah, all of that kind of thing. We're trying to have a different approach to accountancy. I think it can be quite daunting for individuals and for business owners.
Yeah.
People go into business because they've got a passion, they've got something they want to do. They don't want to become accountants or tax experts.
Yeah.
And that's where we come in, because we can provide that service to them in a language that they understand. No one ever leaves us not knowing what the hell's going on in the meeting.
This is it, and I think this is what we're going to be talking about today, is just getting that clarity on some of the things from the government, also the people that we sell to. We can explain the benefits of the product, but what does that actually mean for either a customer or a company from what you can talk about then. So in regards to like electric vehicles, obviously we can explain the benefits of what there is like on range, the network, how cost effective it is for them. But if a company decides what they want to buy an electric vehicle, what does that actually mean to a company?
Yeah, so from a company's perspective or an employer's perspective, there are tax advantages from using electric vehicles. The first one is if it's a fully electric vehicle, then VAT can be reclaimed on that vehicle in full.
Okay.
So that is obviously quite attractive.
Is that the full amount of the vehicle then?
Yep. So if so there'll be 20% VAT on the vehicle.
Yeah.
The company can reclaim that VAT element of the purchase price.
Okay.
And then with the remainder of the cost, the full tax benefit against corporation tax can be claimed in the first year. With a non-electric vehicle, the rules aren't quite so generous. So there are tax advantages for a company and for an employer. The first one is VAT. the full 20% of VAT can be reclaimed on the vehicle, which is excellent news. The other tax advantage is that the full cost of the vehicle can be written off against corporation tax in the first year.
Yeah.
So if a company was to purchase a car, then only 18% will be allowable for tax in the first year. With an electric vehicle, 100% is allowable for tax in that first year.
Right,
So
okay.
it's an excellent tax saving opportunity.
Yeah. So essentially, if something cost you, electric vehicle was 50 grand, you had 50 grand's worth of profit, you
Yeah.
just write it off.
Yes, yeah. So in the company's accounts, it would show a £50,000 profit.
Yeah.
On the company corporation tax return, that £50,000 profit will be offset against the purchase of the vehicle. So basically, for tax purposes, there'd be zero profit and zero tax to pay.
Right. Okay.
So a good deal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
See why companies now decide to go for electric vehicles.
absolutely. It makes a very big difference.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other side is the benefit in kind to the
Yeah,
employee.
what is the benefit in kind for, is it better to put it as a company vehicle or a pool vehicle?
So if we carry on with the electric vehicles first of all, the benefit in kind rates for an electric vehicle are very low.
Yeah.
So from an employee's perspective, the income tax they're going to pay on that is going to be tiny compared to a non-electric vehicle where the benefit in kind rates can really sting.
Okay.
Also from an employer's point of view, the employer's national insurance that would need to be paid on the benefit in kind is low on an electric vehicle as well.
Yeah.
So that's again why a lot of people are going for electric vehicles from an employee's standpoint.
Is that because of the emissions then, is it? Is it because there's no engine? What's the reasons why it's like that?
Yeah. So the benefit in kind rates are based on emissions.
Yeah.
So if you've got a diesel vehicle, the emissions are going to be higher. The
Yeah.
benefit in kind rates are higher.
Yeah.
If it's a zero emissions vehicle, then the benefit in kind rates are
reduces.
lower. Yeah. So that's the way
Okay.
the government calculates
Got
how
ya.
much tax you're going to pay.
Yeah, because the
basically.
rates are online as well, aren't they, for the benefit in
They
kind?
are online, yeah, and it's worth checking out those rates because they do change on a regular basis.
Yeah.
They do change whenever there's a budget, as we saw in the last budget as
Yeah,
well.
we've got one coming up.
Yes,
So,
yeah. So it's always good to be aware. So, potentially someone could purchase a vehicle expecting one tax charge, and that could change. So
yeah,
it's good to stay on top of these things.
perfect. Okay. I'm going to flip it on its head now. We're going to go complete opposite side, which is obviously we've had a lot of details come out in the news from the government about double cab pickups.
Mm.
So massive changes coming from April.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read a statement, which is something that's come out from the government from the budgets, which is, following a court appeal judgment, the government will treat double cab pickups vehicles with a payload of 1 tonne or more as cars for certain tax purposes. From April 1st, 2025 for corporation tax and 6th of April 2025 for income tax, double cab pickups will be treated as cars for the purposes of capital allowances, benefits in kind and some deductions from business profits. The existing capital allowances treatment will apply to those who purchase double cab pickups before the April 2025. Transitional benefit in kind arrangements will apply for employers that have purchased, leased or ordered double cab pickups before the 6th of April. They will be able to use the previous statement until the earlier disposal, lease expiry or 5th of April 2029. So just taking that statement then, what does that mean in simple terms?
In simple terms, yes, a very, very wordy statement.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So
And a lot of grey areas I would probably sort of...
Yeah, it's not clear when you immediately read that what's going on.
Yeah.
So if I start with the current position, basically if you've got a double cab pickup, it's treated as a van rather than a car.
Yeah.
So we talked a bit about the benefit in kind and capital allowance, tax savings or tax rates for cars just now. For vans, then the capital allowance and corporation tax saving is very similar to electric vehicles.
Yeah.
In that VAT can be reclaimed and 100% of the cost can be claimed in the first year
First
against
year.
corporation tax. So that's
Yeah.
great. From an employee's point of view, or the driver of the vehicle, then there is a benefit in kind with the van, but it's tiny.
Yeah.
It's a flat rate, so it's a good option.
Yeah.
So a lot of people using double cab pickups because it's if a double cab pickup can carry more than a ton,
Yeah.
it's classed as a van.
Yeah.
And you've got the benefits of having that payload, plus you've got a vehicle where you can actually carry
You can have back
passengers as
seats
well.
in the back. Yeah.
You can do, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Use it for all purposes then, can't you?
you can do, yes, yeah. And if you've got guys going out on site, that's great. If you've got a family, you can use it for that as well. So it works very well.
Yeah.
So what the legislation is saying is that after the end of March this year, those vehicles that were treated as vans are going to be treated as cars. So basically what that means from a company point of view or from an employer point of view
Yeah.
is that the VAT won't be able to be reclaimed
Okay.
and the full costs won't be able to be reclaimed in the first year.
Right.
There's going to be an 18% of the costs can be written off against tax in the first year.
Okay.
So it's the same basically as any other
Normal.
diesel car.
Yeah.
And it's the same with benefit in kind as well. They're going to be treated as a car
Okay.
rather than a van.
Yeah.
So they did try to bring this in. The previous government tried to bring this in April last year, and there was a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
And they retreated after about a week,
Yeah.
and they reversed it. What they've done this time is exactly the same, but they've given some breathing space to the end of March,
Okay.
so people can get their affairs in order.
Why do you think that is then, that double cab pickups in particular are being targeted and they're the ones that are going to change?
So that's a very good question. It's a very good question. I guess from the government standpoint, if they want to reduce emissions, then the diesel vehicles, I guess that will help meet their targets. I think the problem is a lot of businesses are using these vehicles.
Yeah.
And it's going to affect a significant proportion of small business owners and other business owners.
That's it.
It's going to affect individuals in terms of their income tax. It's going to affect companies and businesses in terms of their tax as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to have a big impact. And I think for some trades, changing from a diesel vehicle to an electric vehicle is actually going to be quite difficult, because I don't think the infrastructure's there. If you've got to travel to different parts of the country and the infrastructure isn't there to charge, then I think there's potentially a problem.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this develops over the coming years.
We've got a plug-in hybrid coming later this year, which
Right.
hopefully will overcome the diesel double cab pickups. But just reading that statement there, it turns around and says certain tax purposes. So what does that actually mean? Are they going to look at each individual case and turn around and be like, well, that is being used solely for business purposes, so we'll allow that one?
So what it seems to be saying is that the rules for cars are being applied to these vehicles.
Yeah.
So where the van rules used to apply, car rules are going to apply now.
Yeah.
So that's what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Why they use the phrase certain tax purposes, I don't know.
Okay.
But that's basically what that is saying.
Okay.
But people have actually got till the end of March you could still purchase a double cab pickup before the end of March,
Yeah.
and you would still fall under the current rules.
Yeah.
And then I think it says in the statement there's a period of so many years. Yeah.
September, I think it's got to be registered before.
Yeah.
And then it's, until 2020, 5th of April 2029.
Yeah.
That's when
Yeah.
it'll be up to.
So if people want to have one of these vehicles, now's the time to do it. You've got just over a month to purchase one under the current rules. Otherwise, it's going to fall under the new rules.
Yeah.
Or as you say, go with one of the new electric vehicles.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Very good.
That's all the questions. So thank you very much, Lloyd. Thanks for your time.
That's All right, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.